Today is our lesson one paper in math. And if you need anything, make sure you have the binder that I sent home with you. Make sure you have your blue folder and have a pencil. Okay, so if you need to pause to go get those things, make sure you go grab them and you can unpause when you come back. Okay, remember I didn't send the lesson explanation papers home. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into that blue folder paper today. Okay, so the blue folder paper today is starting with number 4, and it's all about how to tell time. Now, some of you already know how to tell time, and you do a really, really good job with that, and some of you are learning, and some of you, this is brand new, and it's okay no matter where you're at with this, okay? If you're really good at this, then consider this a nice review. If you're still working on this, consider this, some good extra practice, and if you really don't understand it, this is a great place to start. Okay, so if we look at the clock in number 4, well, let's read our directions. It says use the clock, tell what time is shown, write the time. So the shorter hand, which is red on these pages, is our hour hand. So whatever number the shorter hand is pointing directly at today, going to get a little more complicated as we go through this chapter, but for today, that is the hour. So let's look at number 4. The red hand, the shorter hand, is pointing at number 1. And since there are no minutes, since we're telling time on the hour, the minute hand is pointing directly at the 12. Okay? So that would make it be 1 o'clock. So in our digital clock here, we're going to put the number 1 before those 2 dots because that is where you put the hour on a digital clock. And since there are no minutes right now, we put 2 zeros right after that. Okay? And then on the line, we write the number 1, and it would be 1 o'clock. So right now, we have the time shown in 3 different ways for each problem. They did the first one, which is what's called an analog clock. They did the second one, which is called a digital clock. And the third one, which is time written in words, basically. Okay, let's go ahead and try number 5 together. Okay, so that red hand is pointing directly at the 8, and the blue hand, which is the minute hand, is pointing directly at the 12. So I want you to think for a minute. All right, I'm going to give you the answer. Are you ready? So that would be 8 o'clock. So 8 is the hour, and that goes before those dots, and you put zeros right after it. Okay, and then we put an 8 on the line, and that makes it 8 o'clock in words. Okay, now down here for 7, 8, and 9, they wrote it in words, and we are supposed to draw the hands on the clock. You don't have to do different colors. In fact, it's easier if you just use your pencil, okay? So the words here for number 7 say 5 o'clock. Do you see that there? 5 o'clock. So my shorthand, and you got to make it shorter, it's going to point directly at the 5. It's hard to do that upside down, sorry. And my longer hand, my minute hand, is going to point directly at the 12. So do you see the difference there? And down in the bottom, I have to write the digital time, which is what we did up here. So then I write 5 before those 2 dots and 0, 0. So we still have it written 3 different ways. Okay, we have the words at the top, then we have the analog clock that we drew the hands on, and then we have the digital clock at the bottom. Go ahead and turn this paper over and see what happens. Oh, these are word problems. These are not that hard. You're just showing the time. Remember to ask a grown-up if you don't understand what it's saying. Don't rush through it. There's no reason to do that. So number 10 says, Colin gets home at 3 o'clock. Evan gets home 1 hour later. What time does Evan get home? So I want you to think, what number is 1 bigger than 3? Now, some of you already know that. You know it's 4. Some of you already said it's 4 o'clock. Some of you have already drawn the hands on the clock. But once you figure out that it's 4 o'clock, you draw the hands on the clock. The short hand goes to the 4. The long hand goes directly to the 12. Okay, let's skip down to write math. Okay, what time is it when the hour hand is on the 5 and the minute hand is on the 12? And how do you know? Okay, so if the hour hand is pointing at the 5, that would mean, and the minute hand is pointing at the 12, that would be 5 o'clock, because the hour hand tells the hour. So I wrote that all out here, and I'll show it to you. Okay. All right. I'm not going to hold it up while you all copy it down. You can pause the video and continue copying it. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at the homework. In the homework, you're doing the same exact thing in 1, 2, and 3. Okay, look here. 1, 2, and 3. Tell what time is shown, write the time. So they gave us the analog clock. We're writing the digital in the word form. And if you turn your paper over, 4 and 5, they gave you the word form, and we have to do the analog and the digital. And you know how to do that. And if you don't, ask somebody for help. Okay? And then number 6, the time on Javier's watch is 3 hours after 2 o'clock. Write the time on his watch. So I want you to think, if it's 3 hours after 2, we're counting up 3 from 2. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So then it would be 5 o'clock. And you write that in digital. Now down at the bottom, that's where the vocabulary check comes into play. Okay? So use those yellow words and go through it. Remember our special way of doing it. If we're not sure what a word is, skip it and see if you can figure out where another one goes. And you'll usually be able to figure it out because there will be only one spot left by the end. Okay? Don't forget to do that fact fluency. And maybe tomorrow I'll have another read aloud. Hopefully you enjoyed the Black Lagoon book today. But for other than that, make sure you're doing your fact fluency and keep up with your math. Otherwise, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.